You know what I love most about this sport? Is that there truly is something for everyone. No matter what type of rider you are, trail you prefer, or level of luxury you can afford, there will always be an option that will keep a smile on your face and miles on your odometer. Case in point, Skidoo's GTX SE. This sled proves that even if you're riding 2-up, there's absolutely no reason you can't have great handling, a great ride, supreme comfort, and darn impressive performance. Now, this sled really isn't for everyone, and its price tag should be your first clue of that fact. However, if you have the means and the need for a sled with a seat that more resembles a lazy boy love seat than it does a snowmobile saddle, you owe it to yourself to keep watching. The general specs of the GTX SE aren't really anything new or revolutionary. Under the hood is Skidoo's overachieving 1200 4TEC motor that puts out a very believable and extremely stout 130 plus ponies. Unfortunately, there are no versions of this motor that don't suffer from the utterly annoying throttle lag just off engagement. If there was one thing we would love to change about this sled in particular, that would be it. This chassis is a 137-inch version of Skidoo's XR platform and is exactly the same as the Renegade models. It rests atop Skidoo's double A-arm front suspension setup with preload adjustable HPG shocks. Now, this front suspension setup provides a smooth ride and precise and predictable handling, especially when paired with what's resting out back. And it's what's out back that truly sets the GTX SE apart from all of its competition. This 137-inch SC5 skid frame features the industry's only remotely adjustable air control suspension system, or ACS. A tiny air pump mounted just beside your left foot pumps air into or releases air from the rear arm shock to alter the ride depending on conditions and the weight that you're carrying. ACS is controlled through the left-hand switch cluster using existing buttons pressed in a specific sequence. Once you figure it out, it's extremely easy to use and makes an immediately noticeable difference. If it's just you riding alone, select settings 1 or 2 and the bumps will literally disappear. When a passenger climbs on, a few simple button clicks and you won't even know your passenger's there. The rest of the GTX SE is loaded up with amazing features targeted directly at rider and passenger comfort and convenience. Heated seats and grips for both driver and passenger, a windshield that could easily have come from a Greyhound bus, adjustable handlebars, accessory outlets front and rear, mirrors, quick release hard cargo bags and center soft cargo bag, infinitely adjustable passenger grab handles and backrest, and jam-packed gauge package literally make both you and your passenger feel as comfortable as if you were cruising down the freeway in your luxury SUV. But don't just take my word for it. After all, I'm just the driver. I can only relay my experiences from the front seat of this sled. Today, I want to give the opportunity to my co-pilot to express her opinions of what it's like riding shotgun on a GTX SE.
Riding on the GTX SE was amazing. On the smooth trails it was perfect, and on the bumpy trails it was perfect too. Overall it was a really good ride. Even when I noticed that the trails were getting really bumpy, it still soaked up the bumps really well. I didn't feel like I was flopping around on the back like a fish. I didn't feel like I had to brace myself every 10 seconds for upcoming bumps.
Of course, no matter how good a sled rides, any passenger is going to tell you it's just no fun if you don't feel safe and secure while you're hanging on out back.
I really felt safe and secure on the sled. I didn't feel like I had to form myself to fit on the sled. I felt like it fit me naturally. The hand grips were in the right spot and the feet placements were great too. On past sleds that I've been on, I've been feeling like I've gotten thrown around a lot, like I keep running into the driver. But on this sled, it's entirely different. I might as well be sitting in a car.
Finally, the GTX SE is definitely one of the most comfortable sleds I've ever ridden. But is it as comfortable for my passenger as well?
One of the things that made me comfortable on this sled was the seat. It's raised up at the back so I could see what was going on around me and where we were going in front. Another thing that I really liked about this sled was the heated hand grips and the heated seats. Since I wasn't up front driving, I was getting colder on the back. The heated hand grips and the heated seats made this all better, so I never got cold. I can honestly say that there's nothing I would change about riding on the back of the GTX. Maybe me driving instead of Luke, he can be on the back.
At the end of the day, a person buys a GTX SE for two reasons. First, they want the ultimate in comfort and luxury, but also want to lay down some sweet corners and put out some impressive top speeds on those big trails or long lakes. Just because you ride a twofer doesn't mean you should have to come in last. And second, it's because you need to take a passenger along for the ride. If you're buying the full-bore SE package, it's gotta be because you want the best for both yourself and your co-pilot. After many miles aboard the GTX SE, both on my own and with my favorite passenger, I can honestly say this sled has lived up to all of my expectations.
Mine too.
And that's what really counts.